Ladies and gentlemen, just to update you, we are doing a little bit of field maintenance while the rain has lightened up a little bit so that we can get the fields prepped and in a little bit better condition so these kids aren't out there slipping around on the water and wet dirt, just trying to try and keep them a little bit safer out there. So once we get that back up and ready, we will be back with you live, but we're going to hold tight for now. Leading off here for Tri-County is going to be Tylen Parker getting the start in center field. And I'm going to run through the lineup here for Dentsville in a minute as that pitch is low for ball one. Leading off for Dentsville is, and behind the plate is Chris Neal. In center field is Kevin Knight, designated hitter, number 17, Trip Stevens. And that pitch is low for ball two. Batting fourth, playing third is number 2, Amiri Jefferson. And then you got batting fifth, number 11, shortstop, Adrian Carrasquillo. As that ball is dribbled down to the third baseman, he fields it barehanded, throw over to first, not in time. He is safe at first, as that ball is just going to die on the infield with all this wet dirt. And that's going to bring up the pitcher, number 2, Brian Long. Back to Dentsville's defensive lineup, they have another designated hitter, number 12, Russell Roberts. After him is the pitcher, number 42, William Gilchrist. And then in left field, number 5, Lawrence Tagari Jr. Playing first, number 3, Anthony Bell. That pitch is high for ball one. And rounding out the lineup is the right fielder, number 16, Jakari Wayne. For the home team, Tri-County, you've got Tylen Parker playing center field. You've got number 2 pitcher, Brian Long. As the runner goes on the pitch, throw down is high, and he is in safely. Batting third is shortstop, number 7, Hallman Cease. Batting fourth is the third baseman, number 24, Joe Huggins. And you've got the right fielder, number 14, Jake Runkle. Then you've got the second baseman, number 11, Brad Hightower. First baseman, number 10, Reese Still, as the pitch is on the way. And that is high for ball three. Brings count to 3-0 with runner on second. Batting 8th, number 5, catcher Corbin Perry, and rounding out the lineup, batting 9th, left fielder number 00, Vincent Gibson. As a 3-0 pitch is on the way, and that's in there for strike 1. That brings the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. Again, we've got a 0-0 ball game after a slight delay for the grounds crew to get out there and try and clean this field up. As Brian Long is in the box, and that pitch is low for ball 4. That's going to put a runner on first and second with nobody out here in the bottom of the first inning.
Brings up the shortstop, all-star, number 7, Holman Cease.
That brings up the shortstop, Holman Cease for Tri-County. Hallman looks like he goes by the nickname Hall, so I will most likely be calling him Hall for the rest of this tournament. Checks his runner at second, pitch on the way, and that's outside for ball 1. Count moves to 1 ball and no strikes. Hall plays short and pitches. His favorite food is steak, and he does not have a favorite movie. Unless I have never heard of the movie N/A. And that is low and inside for ball number 2. That brings the count to 2 balls and no strikes. And you wonder how much trouble these pitchers are going to have with their command with these conditions, as it is raining a little bit. But I will tell you, we have an absolutely beautiful rainbow going across center field here. I'm looking to my left over at field 2, and I'm going to be honest with you, I can see the faint trace of a double rainbow, ladies and gentlemen. And those colors on that bottom rainbow are absolutely vivid. I believe we're trying to get a pan shot there. I can see the entirety of the Roy G. Biv, as that pitch is low and away for ball number 3. The catcher does a great job of staying in front of that one. This weather for the moment seems to have cleared and has left us with a beautiful afternoon, albeit very muggy and hot. As a 3-0 pitch is on the way, and that's low for ball 4. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I've ever seen a rainbow with that many distinct colors. All right, enough about the rainbow. We're going to play some baseball here. That's going to bring up the third baseman, number 24, Joe Huggins. Pitch is low for ball 1. And Tri-County here is wearing some uniforms that I have never seen before, as they have their numbers on their pants. That is honestly something that I have never seen around the game of baseball before. And my opinion on it is still out. I haven't decided if I like that or not. And that is swung on for strike 1. That brings the count to 1 ball and 1 strike with no outs. Bases loaded here in the bottom of the first, as Tri-County might have something cooking here. Pitcher comes set. And that's put in play on the right side. That might get through. Second baseman ranges to make the play. Great play by the second baseman. But the batter does the job, as Joe Huggins gets an RBI ground out. And Tri-County scratches their first run across the board and breaks this tie ball game.
Right fielder, number 14,
and that's going to bring up number 14, the right fielder, Jake Runkle, who is going to be swinging from the left side. Looks like that was a great play by that second baseman. He had to range all the way to his glove side there, field it, and flip the ball over to first. And that is in there for strike number 1. Brings the count to no balls and 1 strike. And that is lined sharply on the ground to the left side, but foul for strike number 2. as Gilchrist finds himself ahead in this count. No balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Runner on second and third. He's going to work from the windup here. Pitch on the way. And that is low for ball 1. Brings count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Umpire has been very consistent with that call. He's not really given anything on that lower part of the plate, lower part of the zone. He's been very consistent. And that looks like a breaking ball that didn't break very much, and he's going to be out at home trying to advance on a wild pitch. That's going to be 2 outs. However, at the same time, the runner did advance from second to third, but a very heads-up play by the catcher there, Chris Neal, to quickly grab that ball and get back to the plate and tag that guy out before he had a chance to score. So we're going to have a 2-2 count here to Jake Runkle. That's high for a ball, and the runner thought about trying to go there, but thought better of it, as he probably did not want to have the same fate as the runner before him. So that's going to bring the count full, 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here to Jake Runkle. And that's going to be high for ball 4. Batter's going to take his base as that runner on third got almost halfway down the line, which you're kind of able to do that whenever the pitcher is working from the windup like that. I mean, that runner was almost halfway to the plate there when the ball hit the backstop. And that's high. He's going to take off. The runner going from third. And he is safe. And that runner was stealing second, and he moves all the way to third on that play as well. Very good move by that runner to avoid the tag, because the catcher had a chance to make the play there. But it is very, very hard to make a play when the pitcher throws the ball to the backstop. That's going to bring the count to 1 ball and no strikes. Up to the plate now is number 11, the second baseman, Brad Hightower. We have a coach giving a couple of baseballs to the umpire. Looks like he has a rag. They're trading a few balls there. He's going to go and dry those off with his nice dry rag over there. We've got a runner on third. 1 ball, 2 no strikes, and 2 outs. Pitcher is still working from the windup. Catcher blocks. That's going to bring it to 2 balls and no strikes. Brad Hightower's favorite food is hamburger, as this pitch is outside for ball 3. His favorite food is the hamburger, and that's a good thing, because we fed all these players hamburgers last night. Jack Fripp and Daryl Catola were on the grill last night, grilling up burgers, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, and they just did a fantastic job of feeding hundreds of people. As the 3-0 pitch is on the way, and that is low and inside. Runner goes from third. He's going to be safe at home for the 3rd run of the inning for Tri-County. As Hightower walks. So now Gilchrist is going to work with a runner on first here, down 3-0 with 2 outs. And he's going to be pitching to the first baseman, number 10, Reese Still. And that pitch is low and inside for a ball. Gilchrist has to watch himself there. He didn't really come set. That might get called for a balk at some point this tournament. I've seen it called multiple times. That pitch is swung on and missed for strike number 1. That's going to be 1 ball and 1 strike here to Reese Still, whose favorite food is watermelon, and his favorite movie is Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby. 1-1 pitch on the way is missed inside for ball 2. Brings the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. despite what the scoreboard says 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that is swung on and missed for strike number 2. And that evens the count 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. As they say, deuces are wild. And the 2-2 pitch is on the way. Low and outside for ball 3 as the runner from second moves over to third. That was a straight steal from Hightower. So he is now aboard third with 2 outs, and it looks like the pitcher's going to work from the windup here. Payoff pitch on the way. And that is inside for ball number 4. Another walk. Reese Still is now aboard first, so runner at first and third with 2 outs, and we're going to have time called as the coach is going to make a trip out to the mound and at the very least talk to William Gilchrist. And it looks like he's taking the ball from him, and he's going to bring in a new pitcher. We'll get that updated for you when we come back on the County Channel.
Carrasquillo.
All right, sorry about that. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we are back now as Tri-County leads 3-0 here in the top of the second inning. And Adrian Carrasquillo digs in. He is up in the count, 2 balls and no strikes, as that is swung on and missed for strike 1. That brings the count to 2 balls and 1 strike, as Tri-County had a very good half inning and pushed 3 runs across. And that is behind the batter for ball number 3. Count moves to 3 balls and 1 strike. Now, I do want to apologize for probably extremely mispronouncing this last name. And that is high and inside for ball number 4. Excuse me, it is 3-2 now. And that catches the outside part of the plate for strike 3, as Adrian is now retired on a full count. And that's going to bring up a designated hitter, number 12, Russell Roberts. Now, Russell Roberts' favorite food is sushi, as that crosses in for a strike. And his favorite movie is Rush Hour 3, which is another one of the greatest movie franchises of all time. And that pitch is high for ball 1. It's going to bring the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. As I will let you all know, this rainbow is still out and shining in full effect here. As that ball is put in play, first baseman makes a diving stop, running back to the base, steps on it for out number 2. What a play there by Reese Still. Wow, he went all out, dove and stopped that ball from getting to the outfield, hustled over to first and stepped on first for out number 2. And that's going to bring up the pitcher, the one that started on the mound, number 42, William Gilchrist. And that is high for ball 1. For Dentsville, Anthony Bell came in to pitch next for Dentsville. And that is low and away for ball number 2. Brings the count to 2 balls and no strikes here, as the next pitch is on the way, and that is low and inside for ball 3. Just to remind you all, Tri-County is winning 3-0 here in the top of the second inning, as they pushed across 3 runs the last half in the bottom of the first. As that is low and away for ball number 4. Gilchrist is going to take his base. And that brings up the left fielder, number 5, Lawrence Tagari Jr. And you got to imagine they're really going to want to try and take advantage of this. I would imagine that the runner on first is going to steal here pretty early in the count, because they have been doing that every time they've got a runner on base. And there it is. Runner takes off, and he is safe at second on the strike. So that brings the count to no balls and 1 strike here to Tagari Jr. You would imagine a hit's going to score a run here. And that swung on and missed for strike number 2. Count moves to no balls and 2 strikes. As Tagari chased a high pitch, and if he hadn't swung, probably would have been ball 1. The 0-2 pitch looks like a breaking ball, misses outside for ball 1. Count moves to 1-2. A great take by Tagari there. Tagari's 2-strike approach. He's choked up. And that's going to catch the inside part of the plate for strike number 3. As Brian Long retires the side with no runs, no hits, and 1 left on base. Tri-County is going to come back to hit in the bottom of the second here on the County Channel. That is a siren going off. If you hear that in the background, that means we are actually fine to play. As the first pitch is in there for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. And that is inside for ball 2. And that's going to be the hitter number 00, Vincent Gibson. The count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Sorry, I'm extremely distracted at the moment. And that is in there for strike 2, even the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. We have some confusion with the lineup. We're trying to get it all figured out for Dentsville. I think we've got it now. And that is fouled straight up and out of play as he stays alive here. The count is 2-2. Leadoff hitter once again here, number 00, Vincent Gibson. And that is swung on and fouled back for a chance to stay alive here. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. And that is put in play deep to left field. The left fielder had a beat on it. He misses it. That's going to fall down in play. Fair ball for a leadoff double there. And that's an errant throw. He's going to slide into third safely for a leadoff double for Vincent Gibson. And that's going to bring up the leadoff hitter here for Tri-County, Tylen Parker, who is going to try and keep his day going. He is 1 for 1 so far with a single. He had a single his first at bat to start the game. So he's going to look to keep that going and get a little RBI here as that ball is ripped down the right field line, down in fair territory. He's rounding first, going to second, and he is in there standing up for an RBI double. And that's going to bring up the pitcher, Brian Long, who walked his first time up. So technically he is 0 for 0 so far on the day. And I apologize. I've been saying his name Brian. It is Briar. Briar Long. Runner goes from second to third. He slides in safely. Plenty of time there. So there's now a runner at third. Tri-County leads 4-0. Runner at third, 1 ball, no strikes, and no outs. Here to Briar Long. He's trying to help himself out on the mound and pad that lead a little bit. That's high and inside as Long ducks out of the way for ball number 2. Briar's favorite food is pizza, as that is in there for a strike, brings count 2 balls and 1 strike. His favorite pro baseball team is the Braves, and what a team to be a fan of right now, as they are red hot in the NL East. And that is high and inside. Long ducks out of the way again for ball number 3. And that brings count to 3 balls and 1 strike. Braves fan he may be, but his favorite sports idol is actually Bryce Harper, who has played for not 1, but 2 divisional rivals of his favorite baseball team, the Atlanta Braves. Regardless, he is now taking ball 4, and he is on his way down to first for his second walk of the day, which brings up Hall Cease, who has also walked earlier this game. And his favorite pro baseball team is also the Braves. So we've got a lot of Braves fans here. Looks like we might even have a whole team of Braves fans. Reese Still is a fan of the Reds. Vincent Gibson is a Padres fan. Aiden Rutland is a Yankees fan. Everyone else on the team is a Braves fan. And that is low and inside for ball one. Hall Cease is trying to make something happen here. As that is low, gets to the backstop. Runner from third takes off. He's headed home. Head first slide in there safely. And that's going to be another run for Tri-County. Brings a count to 2 balls and no strikes as Tri-County now leads 5-0. Runner on first also took off to second. So there's a runner on second with nobody out for Hall Cease. And that is put in play in the air to shallow center field. Shortstop ranges over, makes the play. Looks like the runner on second was trying to steal there, but he was able to put the brakes on and head back to second. He's back safely as Adrian Carrasquillo makes the play in shallow center. Great play by the shortstop there. And that's going to bring up the third baseman, number 24, Joe Huggins, with 1 out. And that ball is swung on and fouled straight back towards the press box. And that bounced in foul territory there, out of play for strike number 1, as Anthony Bell finds himself ahead in the count. No balls and 1 strike. You've got to imagine that the coach just pulled Joe Huggins aside and said, hey, man, we don't need you to do too much here. Just a ground ball through a hole will score a run here. And that's going to be high and inside for a ball. Runner takes off towards third, and he is out trying to steal third on a very awkward slide. It looked like he couldn't quite make up his mind on how he wanted to slide, and the indecision may have cost him there. And that's going to be out number 2 on a great throw by the catcher. He popped up and put that throw on the money. 1-1 pitch, and that's hit high in the air to center field. Center fielder's under it, and he makes the catch for out number 3, but not before Tri-County scores 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and no one left on base. We'll be right back on the county channel. Welcome back to Field 3 here in Bluffton, South Carolina. Dentsville pitcher number 3, Anthony Bell, is in, as that ball is inside for ball 1. As Dentsville is really trying to climb back here, they are down 5-0 here in the top of the 3rd inning. And that is low for ball 2. Brings the count to 2 balls and no strikes. It's outside for ball 3. Anthony Bell's favorite food is seafood, and more specifically, crab legs. His favorite movie is Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And that is going to be low and away for ball number 4. He's going to take his base. And that brings up number 1, Chris Neal. And that's going to be high and inside for ball 1. You wonder how many pitches is it going to be until Anthony Bell takes off there from first, as that is inside for ball 2. Count moves to 2 ball and no strikes. We have time called, as we're going to get a courtesy runner for the pitcher. And that's going to be courtesy runner on first. Can't quite tell the number. With these jerseys, it's very hard for us up here in the press box to see exactly what number it is. But the 2-0 pitch is on the way, and that's going to be in there for strike 1. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike to Chris Neal, who was hit by pitch to lead off the game. And a pickoff attempt not in time. He is back safely. And we've got a 2-1 count. Runner on first with nobody out here in the top of the 3rd. Catcher Chris Neal at the plate. Pitcher comes set. Another pickoff move. He stepped off of the rubber first, so he did not have to throw it, and he chose not to throw it. Just trying to keep an eye on him, keep him close. Pitch on the way. And that is inside for ball 3, as the runner stole second on the pitch. So now the courtesy runner is on second here with nobody out in a 3-1 count to Chris Neal. Back pick to second. Oh, thrown away. Ball gets into center field. Center fielder has the ball, and he holds on to it, and the runner holds at second. That would have been a very close play had the runner decided to go. But he put the brakes on and came to a halt. And for all those Braves fan out there, Matt Olson just hit an RBI single to take a 1-0 lead. And that is high and inside for ball 4. Looked like Chris Neal may have actually put his elbow out there a little bit. Looking to maybe get hit by that pitch, but either way, it's ball 4. So he gets to take his bases. We have a time called on the field for the Tri-County coach to go and have a conversation with his pitcher. And you got to imagine that he's just kind of telling his guy to settle down and throw strikes here, because it's worked for him so far this game. Throw strikes and let the defense take care of the rest. The meeting is over as we have Kevin Knight digging in here, number 24. And again, for all you Braves fans, because it seems like we have a lot of Tri-County Braves fans, Sean Murphy hit a 3-run home run, and they now have a 4-0 lead. Sean Murphy voted onto the NL All-Star team this year. That is swung on and missed for strike 1. Sean Murphy was voted on and voted to be the starting catcher for the NL. So Braves are very well represented for the All-Star game. as the 0-1 pitch is on the way, and that is swung on and hit to the right side in the air. The right fielder has a beat on it, and he makes the catch. Runner tags from second. Very strong throw from the right fielder, but not quite in time as the runner is in safely. Right fielder did all he could to make that play. Very, very strong throw from the right fielder. And that's going to be 1 out now. As number 17, Trip Stevens, digs in. With a runner on first and third and 1 out. First baseman moves over to hold the runner on. And pitcher steps off. Check his runner at first. As Breyer is looking to close this inning out. And then is swung on and missed as the runner goes. He steals second, not even a throw down there. We've got runner on second and third now with 1 out, 0-1 count. Pitch is on the way. Swung on and fouled for strike 2. Count moves to no balls and 2 strikes as Long finds himself ahead in the count, which is when he finds the most success here. Every time he's gotten ahead in a count, he's gotten some really good results. As the pitch is on the way, and that is hit again foul, as the runner was prepared to score there. But to no avail, as it was a foul ball. So he will make his way back to third. Trip Stevens is digging into the plate. Pitch on the way, swung on and missed. Looked like a very nasty breaking ball from the pitcher for strike number 3. But if there is a strikeout, you'd at least like to see him swinging like that, then go down looking. So that's good. And we've got another timeout called for Tri-County as the coach is going to come out and talk to his pitcher once again. And he is going to bring in a new pitcher, which we will have more information on that when we come back on the County Channel. Excuse me, we have a defensive substitution here for Tri-County. Number 1, Hunter Steely is in for Breyer Long, as that ball is absolutely laced to left center field, and that is going to get down for a double, as that ball was absolutely crushed by Amiri Jefferson. The third baseman for a stand-up 2 RBI double. And that's going to bring Dentsville just a little bit closer, as Tri-County's lead is cut from 5-0 to 5-2. And that's going to bring up the shortstop, number 11, Adrian Carrasquillo, as Steedley here throws 1 pitch and 1 double, as Jefferson now stands at second with 2 outs. The pitch is off the bat, foul ball. It was above the batter. The batter ducked, but he did not get his bat down in time, and that's going to be a foul ball and strike 1. And that's why you always preach to bring your bat down with you, because he just gave them a free strike. Pitch is on the way, and it is high for ball 1. That brings count to 1 ball and 1 strike here to Carrasquillo. And that's put in play on the ground. That's going to get up the middle for a hit. He's waving the runner around third. Center fielder picks the ball up. He's throwing home, and he is safe at home. Runner advances to second on the throw. And that's going to be an RBI single advanced on the throw. And that's going to it's going to cut that lead down to 2, as Dentsville now has 3 runs to Tri-County's 5. And a pitch on the way, and that's going to be high and inside for a ball. Runner takes third, and he is safe. He is safe at... Oh, no, he is out. He must have come off the base. Umpire calls him out at third. And that's going to be a 5-3 ball game as we go into the bottom of the third. 3 runs on 2 hits, and no one left on base. We'll be back on the County Channel. Welcome back here to the bottom of the third inning in this very good game, as that ball is pitched and swung on high to the left side. The shortstop ranges over, makes the play, That's exactly what you want your shortstop to do. You want your shortstop to take charge there and make that play. That was a fantastic job. Once again, by Adrian Carrasquillo on Joe Huggins. And that's going to bring up... Oh, I apologize. That was on Jake Runkle. And that's going to bring up Brad Hightower. As that ball is... I believe that was outside. I was looking down at my paper, but that was outside, I think, for ball 1. The next pitch is inside for ball 2. To Brad Hightower, who walked his first time up, but that was against the first pitcher, Gilchrist. This is his first time facing Bell, and that is swung on and fouled for strike 1. That moves the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. That is swung on and missed again for strike number 2. As Brad Hightower's favorite team is the Braves, and his favorite player is Ronald Acuna Jr. And that pitch is high for ball 3. That fills the count 3-2. In his spare time, Brad enjoys fishing and hunting. But he does not know what he wants to do when he grows up. As that is fouled back into the fence. And that count stays at 3-2 as he stays alive in this at-bat. You know what? It's okay, Brad, that you don't know what you want to do. You've got plenty of time to figure it out. Plenty of time. The 3-2 pitch is swung on and hit on a line to center field, but the center fielder made a great play on a great read for out number 2. That was a very well-hit ball by Brad Hightower. But the center fielder only had to take a few steps, and he was there for the play. And that brings up first baseman Reese Still, as that is outside for ball 1. Brings count to 1 ball and no strikes. And Reese is one of the few non-Braves fans here on Tri-County's team, as that pitch is swung on and fouled for strike 1. His favorite player is Ellie De La Cruz, who has only been in the majors for a very short while, but has stolen the hearts of millions and millions of people because of the way that he plays the game. He is an extremely talented young man, and many people are excited to see what he can do. And that's outside for ball 2. It brings the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. And that is on the ground through the hole to the right side for a 2-out single from Reese Still. And that's going to bring up Corbin Perry, the catcher, number 5, who walked his last time up. We had to wait for him to take his leg guards off as he was on the on-deck circle with them on, because that's generally what you do with 2 outs as a catcher. And this ball is high for ball 1 as the runner steals. Reese is in safely at second. And Corbin, when he grows up, he wants to be a 14U announcer. And let me tell you, that's high aspirations, as that is called for a strike. I can't help but feel a little bit like I might have something to do with that. You know, one day we'd love to have you down here, Corbin. And that is in there for strike 2. That brings count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. We are always looking for volunteers, and it's never too early to start and never too late to start an announcing career of some sort. And that is inside for ball 2. It brings count to 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. And that is what they call deuces wild. And that is right down the middle for strike 3. As Bell gets out of a runner at third jam there. Score remains 5-3 as we move to the top of the fourth inning. Tri-County leads. We will be back on the County Channel. Welcome back here as we are now in the top of the fourth. Hunter Steedley still on the mound for Tri-County. First pitch of the inning is high and inside for ball one. As we have, I think, sorted out the lineup a little bit, as Jag Green is in to hit
15, Jack.
for Dentsville. He swings and misses for strike one. That brings the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. As Tri-County still leads 5-3 here in this very tight, very good ball game that we have going here. And that is chopped foul for strike 2. Brings the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jag Green's favorite food is pizza, and his favorite movie is Penguins, which, if my memory serves correctly, that is the National Geographic movie about the migration of penguins. Not to be confused with the movie about penguins called Happy Feet, which is about a dancing penguin. And off speed gets him, swung on and missed for strike 3 and out number 1. And that's going to bring up William Gilchrist, who has moved into left field after he pitched and then is outside from ball 1. And I'm going to be honest, that was a very good catch by the catcher there, number 4. Number 4 has now come in to catch for Tri-County. And that brings the count to 2 balls and no strikes. Number 4 is not catching. I apologize. And that catches the outside part of the plate for strike 1. That brings the count to 2 balls and 1 strike here to Gilchrist, whose favorite sports idol is Jackie Robinson. And I guess that makes sense of why he wears the number 42. That is way outside for ball 3. Brings the count to 3-1. His favorite song is Yeet. Swung on and missed for strike two. Brings count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. With 1 out, no one on base, as Steedley looks to close this batter out. And that is low and away for ball 4, as Gilchrist will make his way on to first for a walk. And that brings up Lawrence Tagari Jr., number 5. He struck out his first at bat, so he's looking to turn that around and at the very least move this runner over from first to second. Pitch, and that's outside for a ball. Runner takes off, and he is in, standing up at second with another stolen base for Dentsville. And that count is 1 ball and no strikes with a runner on second. He stole that base pretty handily. You wonder if they're going to try and send him to third here. As pickoff move, no throw. Maybe just keep him guessing. Try and keep him close to third there. Close to second. Not third, he is on second. Pitch on the way, and that is outside for ball 2. As Steedley is, when he misses, he has been missing outside quite a bit. And here comes a 2-0 pitch. He's in there for a strike. Brings count to 2 balls and 1 strike. To Lawrence Tagari, whose favorite food is fried chicken and his favorite movie is Benchwarmers. His favorite pro baseball team is the Miami Marlins. And his sports idol is Sandy Alcantara, who is a very dominant pitcher for the Marlins. That is outside for ball 3. That moves the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. With an idol like that, you wonder if we're going to see Lawrence Tagari on the mound at all this weekend or throughout the week. And a pickoff move to second. No throw, as the runner was back in time. Again, just to keep him thinking and try and hold him closer to second so he doesn't steal third here. 3-1 pitch is on the way. And that is check swung. Umpire says he went around, so that's going to be strike number 2. And that's going to bring the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Runner on second base. Dentsville is threatening to score here. And that is outside for ball 4. And that's going to make a force out at any base here for Tri-County, as Dentsville has something stirring here on a couple of walks. And that brings up the pitcher, number 3, Anthony Bell, who also walked his last time up. You would imagine he's looking for something to hit into a gap somewhere. As we have time called, and the Tri-County coach is going to go walk out to the mound and have a conversation with his pitcher. I don't know. The coach has the ball in his hand, so it looks like he's going to make a move here, and we'll have that move for you when we come back on the County Channel. Welcome back here as we now have a new pitcher, Hall Cease. He throws that low for ball one to Anthony Bell. But Hall Cease is definitely throwing harder than any of the other pitchers we've seen so far this game. That is low and outside for ball two. And the runners advance on the pitch. So we now have a runner at second and third here with one out for Hall Cease. Looks like he might go from the windup here. Nope, he's going to go back to the stretch. Pitch on the way, and that is spiked 5 feet in front of the plate. Ball comes out. He's safe at home. That catcher had him dead to rights there. But the ball popped out of the catcher's mitt, so he was ruled safe at home as Dentsville scores one run there and cuts that lead to one. Cuts that deficit to one. And we have a ball game brewing here, ladies and gentlemen. That brings the count to 2 balls and 1 strike as the runner from second advanced to third as well on that pitch. And that is high for ball 3, and that brings the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. To Anthony Bell. Whose favorite pro baseball team is the Red Sox, and his favorite sports idol is Bryce Harper. As he takes ball 4 and makes his way on to first for his second walk of the game. And that's going to bring up the leadoff hitter, Chris Neal. And I'm going to have to open a window here, ladies and gentlemen. And that is high and gets to the backstop. Runner takes off. If he keeps that glove in his hand, he is out. Ball stays in the glove there. He is out at home on the passed ball. Catcher was able to get back and tag him out. However, it was ball 1. Count moves to 1-0 on Chris Neal. And my window is getting really foggy and it's hard for me to see, so I got to open this thing up. All right, and we are back in business. Pitches outside, gets to the backstop once again for ball number 2. Brings count to 2 balls and no strikes. To Chris Neal. And that is another ball. Brings count to 3-0. Chris Neal's favorite food is birria tacos, which I know what a taco is, but I do not know what a birria taco is. And his favorite movie is The Sandlot. It is a great favorite movie, and that is low for ball 4. He's going to take his base, and he has been an absolute menace on the base paths today. So we would expect to see him take off for second here. First pitch is what my guess is we have time called, and the coach is going to go out and talk to his pitcher once again, as he is having a little bit of trouble with his command so far tonight. You would imagine he's just going out there to try and calm him down a little bit, tell him to throw some strikes, let his defense go to work for him. Don't think he's pulling them, so we're going to stay on air for this one. And y'all are going to hang out with me here for a second as we have Kevin Knight digging into the box. Whose favorite food is chicken wings, and his favorite movie is Aquaman, featuring Jason Momoa, who also could be a favorite sports idol because he is a professional wrestler. However, Kevin Knight's favorite sports idol is Jazz Chisholm Jr., shortstop and outfielder for the Miami Marlins. Pitch is on the way, and that's in there for a strike. And he gets out to an early lead in the count. No balls and one strike. Paul Cease has had a little bit of trouble with command here as that pitch runs inside and hits the batter. He is down. It looks like it caught him in the ribs, maybe a little bit in the arm. Not quite sure yet. Coach hustles down, makes sure he's okay. He tossed his bat aside, and he is trotting down to first. So it looks like Kevin Knight will be all right. And that brings up
Number 17.
the designated hitter, number 17, Trip Stevens. Trip Stevens is looking to keep this game going today. He's looking to keep this inning alive with 2 outs and the bases loaded. That is high and inside for ball 1. Facing a pitcher that has had some struggle with command so far today. That ball is fouled off for strike 1. That brings the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. And Trip Stevens, and that's in there for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes now the count. As Hall has seemingly found the strike zone here in the later part of this inning. After that mound visit, seemed to have calmed him down. Whatever the coach said must have worked. However, that one is low just a bit for ball 2. That brings the count to 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Bases loaded here to Trip Stevens, whose favorite team is the Atlanta Braves, and his favorite sports idol is Michael Jordan. And that is low for ball 3 as the runner thought about going, but decided to stay. As we have a full count with 2 outs. So I expect to see the runners taking off here on the pitch. But they got to make sure he goes home to the plate, or else it's a very good chance to get picked off. And he's working from the stretch here. He comes set. He steps off, checks his runners just to make sure they're not going anywhere. Try and steal an out maybe, but nothing doing. He toes the rubber once again, checking his runner. He comes set. Runner's going, and that is high and inside. Batter ducks out of the way for ball number 4. And that's going to be an RBI base on balls from Trip Stevens. And that's going to tie this game up 5 runs to 5 runs. And it is a whole new ball game, ladies and gentlemen. As Amiri Jefferson digs in. And if you remember his last at bat, he hit an absolute laser to left center field. But we've got another time called out for the coach to come out and talk to his pitcher once again. And we're going to have a pitching change again for Tri-County here, which we will have for you when we come back on the county channel. Hey, pitches did that first pitcher from Tri-County, how many pitches did he have? How many? Who has the pitcher? 42? They were trying to keep him under 45, which no. Should not have done that. 24? Yo. He's pitching. Anything else you want to know? Yeah, should be three. 3 pitches, 3 strikes.
Yes. 24, pitcher Huggins, 3 pitches, 3 pitches. Heading off for Tri-County, the old stud.
Stepping in here for Tri-County is going to be number 00, Vincent Gibson, who doubled his last time up. So he's going to look to repeat that here. And that is high and inside for ball 1. That pitch is right down the middle for strike 1. Count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike. To Gibson, whose favorite food is seafood. His favorite song or band is Amigos. And I wonder if it meant to say just Migos. But that pitch is in there for a strike and brings count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. As that ball is hit on the ground to the shortstop. Shortstop charges, gloves it, throw to first, not nearly in time. As Vincent Gibson gets an infield single. And with that kind of speed, his aspirations to be an NFL player might just come true one day. Because that shortstop, just regardless of how good of a play he made, just did not have a chance as Vincent was booking it down the line. And that's going to bring up number 12, Tylen Parker. As that pitch is outside for ball one. To Parker, whose favorite sports idol is LeBron James. And in his free time, he enjoys cooking and playing video games. And that was a little bit of a funky play, but it looked like the umpire wasn't quite ready, so he called time as Vincent Gibson was stealing. And pitcher and batter were ready, but I don't think the umpire was quite ready. So we will try that again here in the bottom of the fourth in this tie ball game, 5-5. That is swung on and fouled out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. No outs, runner on first in the form of Vincent Gibson, who will most likely steal on the next couple of pitches. Pitch on the way, and that is low and inside in the dirt. Great pick by the catcher, but no throw because there was absolutely no shot after that pitch to get the runner. So we now have a runner on second. Count is 2 balls and 1 strike. No outs for Tylen Parker, who is 2 for 2 on the day. As that is ripped up the middle. Runner is being waved around third. Wide turn. Great throw from the center fielder as the runner puts the brakes on, and Tylen heads into second for a single with an advance on the throw. And now up to the plate, we have number 2 coming back into the game. As we have time called for the coach, going to go out and talk to someone, maybe make a change. At pitcher here, Anthony Bell is going to come out of the game, and they're going to bring in their first baseman, who we will tell you who that is when we come back on the County Channel. Welcome back here as we have number 2 on the mound, Amir Jefferson. And that is low and outside for ball 1. Runner thought about going, but held up. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. So we now have number 2, Briar Long, back up to the plate as he has come back into the game for Steedley. Pitch on the way, and that is low and outside for ball 2. And the count moves to 2 balls and no strikes. Nobody out, runner on second and third. And that is chopped into the ground on the right side. Gets through the legs of the second baseman. Runner is getting waved around third from second. 2 are going to score there. Tri-County now jumps back out to the lead, 7-5. on that RBI ground ball through the right side from Briar Long. And that's going to bring up number 7, Hall Cease. Hall Cease was trying to do his best Spencer Strider impression earlier, as Spencer Strider is starting for the Braves today, and he is, at this point, has 11 Ks through 6 innings, which is no surprise. Spencer Strider is extremely good at baseball, as that pitch is across for strike 1. And the runner goes. He advances to second base on the pitch. So runner at second with no outs here to Hall Cease. And I would imagine he's looking for something that he can absolutely drive here. Pitch on the way, and that catches the outside part of the plate for strike 2. In his spare time, Hall Cease enjoys riding horses. It's a nice hobby to pick up. As the 0-2 pitch is on the way. And it's chopped on the ground back to the pitcher. Pitcher doesn't even check the runner, just goes straight to first for out number 1. But it does move the runner over from second to third. As that now brings up number 24, Joe Huggins.
Third baseman Joe Huggins,
who is now actually on the mound for Tri-County. As he swings and fouls that one off to the right side. He's looking to put this ball in play for an RBI here and extend this 7-5 lead in the bottom of the 4th. Runner on third base, 1 out. Puts the ball in play straight to the shortstop. Shortstop fields it, makes a throw over to first. And that is in time for out number 2. But it does the job, as that scores another run across for Tri-County. And the shortstop did make it look like he was going to throw to home there, but he ended up throwing to first and just taking the out. As number 6 here, Reese Cadell digs in for his first at-bat of the game. It took a while for that umpire to make a call on the play, because I think he was checking with his home plate umpire to make sure that first baseman kept his foot on the base. Once he got the confirmation from the home plate umpire, he called him out at first, which was, from where I sat, the correct call. That pitch is outside, and that was ball 2. And that's put in play, chopped straight up over the pitcher. Shortstop makes a tough play, throw over to first, not in time. As Cadell is going to find himself safe at first base for an infield single. And that's going to bring up number 11, Brad Hightower, who has walked and hit a line drive to the center fielder for a very well hit ball.
Brad Hightower.
Brad Hightower's had a pretty good game so far. He's another one that enjoys hamburgers. Got a few hamburger eaters here. That is high for ball 1 as the runner steals second on the pitch. No throw down. And they let him have the base. They're going to try and get this third out here. And that pitch is called for a balk. To me, it looked like he didn't come set. He when he brought the hand with the ball in it to the glove, he did not pause for long enough, and thus it was called a balk. And the runner now moves from second to third on the blunder by the pitcher. So we've got Brad Hightower at the plate, looking to drive in the 4th run of the inning here off of Dentsville. And that's outside for ball 2. It brings the count to 2 balls And no strikes. Jefferson has pitched quite well so far since he's come in. And that is outside for ball 3. No advancement on the pass ball. Quite shallow backstop here today. We've seen a few plays at the plate. In the last game, we had a couple of plays at the plate as well that were pretty close calls. And that pitch is right over the heart of the plate for a strike. That brings the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. 2 outs, runner on third in the bottom of the 4th. The 3-1 pitch. Swung on and missed for strike number 2. And that moves the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes as Jefferson looks to get his team back in the dugout. Here comes the payoff pitch. Outside for ball 4. Hightower is going to take his bases. He trots down to first. I wonder if he's going to steal second.
Number 8, All-Star, Rutland.
And that's going to bring up number 8, Aiden Rutland, who is entering the game, and he's going to get his first at-bat of the game. And that is outside for ball 1. Runner goes. He steals second easily. For Tri-County, we have 3 coaches. We have Jeremy Rowland, Joey Rutland, and Jody Huggins. And here's the 1-0 pitch. And that is in there for a strike. That brings the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Jeremy Rowland is an investigator. He just coaches in his free time. Joey Rutland is a market manager. And Jody Huggins is a sawmill. And the 1-1 pitch is way outside for ball 2. Brings the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Jody Huggins' favorite artist is Waylon Jennings. And could not commend him more for that favorite artist. That's a great one. And that is in there. Catches the outside part of the plate for strike 2. Brings the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Aiden Rutland. His favorite player is Aaron Judge. He's going to try and do his best Aaron Judge impression here. And it's swung on and fouled off as that play stays alive. That bat stays alive. That ball is fouled out of play. We've got 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at second and third here in the bottom of the 4th. Tri-County leads 8-5. Here comes the pitch, and that is high for ball 3. It looked like a breaking ball that didn't break quite enough. And that's going to fill the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. He does have first base unoccupied, so a walk wouldn't be the worst thing here, as that is fouled off, and he stays alive. He's putting together a very good at-bat here for Tri-County. He's seen a lot of pitches. He's trying to extend this lead here. Pitch on the way. That is in there for strike 3. As Jefferson retires the side. We will be back here in the top half of the 5th inning on the County Channel. Welcome back to the Beaufort County channel here as we have number 11, Adrian Carrasquillo, leading off the inning for Dentsville. And that's strike one for the first pitch of the inning from Joe Huggins as Aiden looks to get things going here for Dentsville and claw back from the lead that Tri-County just built in the bottom of the fourth. We've currently got an 8-5 ball game. Tri-County is ahead. Swung on and missed for strike two. Count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. And that is high for ball 2. That brings count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Adrian's favorite pro baseball team is the Boston Red Sox, and his favorite idol, that's high for ball 3. His favorite sports idol is David Big Papi Ortiz, one of the absolute greatest hitters in history, not only Red Sox history, but MLB history. As that runs inside for ball 4, Adrian's going to make his way down to first base on the walk. As that brings up the second hitter of the inning, who would usually be Jag Green. That pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1. But it looks like we have batting number 6, Sorry for the disconnection there. Our internet's being a little difficult to work with here at field 3, but we are back as that ball runs in on Gilchrist for a walk. As earlier we had Andrew Whitley, number 9, pinch hit, and he walked as well to lead off the inning. And now we have number 5, Lawrence Tagari Jr. digging in. A runner on first and third with nobody out. And that is a balk call. Once again, the pitcher failed to come set and pause. So that will score a run. That's going to bring the score to 8-6. As the coach calls timeout and comes out to talk to his pitcher, who has been struggling with his command so far. I say so far, and we're going to have a pitching change. So we will be back here very shortly on the County Channel. Welcome back. As we have a pitching change here. Once again, as that pitch is outside for ball 1 here to Lawrence Tagari Jr. And for Tri-County, is outside for ball 2.
Pitching is number 4, Caden. No. Who's pitching?
Is outside for ball 3. That moves the count to 3 balls and no strikes. As swung on and fouled into the catcher's mitt for strike 1. Brings the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. Here with a runner on second. Nobody out. That is low and inside for ball 4. Tagari Jr. is going to take his base, and that brings up the pitcher, Anthony Bell. Sorry, he was pitching. He is no longer pitching. Either way, it is Anthony Bell, who has walked twice so far today. His favorite song is Believer by Imagine Dragons. As that ball runs inside, brings the count to 1 ball, no strikes. Lawrence Tagari Jr.'s favorite band is the Backstreet Boys. And if that's not a throwback for you, I don't know what is. Pickoff move to second, not in time. And that catches part of the plate for strike 1. We've got 1 ball, 1 strike, no one out. Runner on second here in the top of the 5th. That ball is high. Brings count 2 balls and 1 strike. And that is in there for a strike. Brings the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that is put in play on the right side. Pitcher's going to go over, field it, and toss the ball to first for out number 1 on the inning. As Bell is retired. 1-3. And that's going to bring up catcher Chris Neal. That is a cross for a ball. Brings the count to 1 ball and no strikes. And that is inside for ball number 2. As Chris Neal finds himself ahead in the count. 2 balls and no strikes. And that's going to be in for strike 1. Brings the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Christopher Neal's favorite song or artist is Babytron A22. I'm not sure which one of those is the song and which one of the is the artist, but I'm guessing one is one and one is the other. Babytron A22. If anyone knows, you can pass that info along to me. That ball runs inside. It's going to get a piece of him. He's going to head down to first on a hit by pitch, which is his second time being hit by a pitch tonight. And that's going to bring up Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight has also been hit by a pitch today as that ball is high. Brings count to 1-0. Pitcher comes set. And that is in there for a strike. Coaches for Dentsville are Wesley Thomas, who is a deputy sheriff. Zareed McClinton, who is in the Army. And here's the pitch. That's going to be high for ball 2. Brings count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Jacob Chambers, who is in outside sales, and Joe Esquivel, who is also in the Army. The pitcher comes set here, delivers. And that is in there for strike 2. And that brings the count to 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Runner on second and third here in the top of the 5th. Dentsville's looking to push another 1 or 2 across, as that is swung on and missed for strike 3. And that's going to bring up number 17, Trip Stevens. And that's in there for strike 1 to Trip. Pitch on the way, and that is in there for a strike. Brings the count to no balls and 2 strikes, as Trip Stevens is looking to keep this inning going and scratch another couple across. That is ball 1. Brings the count to 1 ball and no strikes. Trip Stevens' favorite song is Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. And that is swung on, put in play straight to the second baseman, who fields it on a short hop and steps on second for out number 3. Great play by the second baseman to stay in front of it, smother it, and step on the base to get out of that one.
2 left, 8-7 ball.
As Dentsville will now take the field, and Tri-County will come and see if they can respond here in the bottom of the 5th. We will be back on the County Channel. Welcome back here to the bottom of the fifth in this 8-7 ball game. Tri-County leads. They're going to look to try and extend on that lead as the first pitch is outside for ball one. Here to Reese Still, as he is looking to reach base for the third time today here. He has walked and singled so far, as that is inside for ball two. Amiri Jefferson working on the mound for Dentsville. 2-0 pitch is on the way. As fouled back out of play for strike one. That's going to bring the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. And that is low for ball 3. Reese Still's favorite song is American Way by Hank Williams. In his free time, he enjoys farming, hunting, and fishing. Good way to spend your free time. All 3 of those. And it's inside for ball 4. He's going to head down to first for his second walk of the day. And that's going to bring up double zero, Vincent Gibson. And ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. That was true about Reese Still. But the kid that just batted is actually number 4, Caden Rowland, who has been working on the mound. His favorite band artist is Morgan Wallen, and he still enjoys hunting and fishing. And that pitch to Vincent Gibson was in for a strike, and that brings the count to no balls and 1 strike. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That is in there for strike 2. As Caden Rowland heads on to second. We've got a runner on second here, nobody out. 0-2 count for Vincent Gibson. It swung on in line to the third baseman. Caught. That was a great play by the third baseman there. Very heads up. He caught it and fired it over to second, but not in time for a double play. Well hit ball from Vincent, but right at the third baseman there.
Center fielder, Tylen Parker.
And that's going to bring up the leadoff hitter, Tylen Parker, who's looking to keep his great day going. He is 3 for 3. He squares around and lays down a bunt down the first base line, but foul. And that's going to allow Jefferson to work ahead in the count. No balls and 1 strike. And you kind of question why Tylen might be swearing around there, as he's swinging a great stick right now. He's got 2 singles and a double. And that is chopped to the right side, right at the first baseman. He makes a good play on a short hop. Fields ball, touches the base, and retires Parker. 3 unassisted for out number 2. And that's going to bring up number 2, Briar Long, who has walked twice. He's going to look to drive this run across the plate here. That's line straight to center field. Center fielder had a beat on it. Makes the play for out number 3. And Dentsville makes a quick inning in the 5th, as they score no runs on no hits and leave 1 on base. We're headed to the top of the 6th. We will be back on the County Channel. Welcome back here to the top of the sixth. We have Amiri Jefferson digging into the plate here for Dentsville. He takes pitch for ball one. Outside. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. And that is swung on to the left side. That's going to get through the hole for a leadoff single from Amiri Jefferson to start things off. And that's going to bring up Adrian Carrasquillo to the plate, who has struck out, singled, and walked so far today. So he's going to look to pile on to his good day at the plate so far. And pitcher comes set. Here's the pitch. High for ball one. Runner's going to take off because the catcher couldn't quite squeeze the ball. He is in safely to second. Brings the count to 1 ball and no strikes. Runner on second. Nobody out in this 8-7 ball game that Dentsville is trailing in. And that's going to be high for ball two. And if you are just joining us, you have missed a great game so far. It's been back and forth. Game has been tied a few times and the lead has changed a few times. It's been very exciting so far, and that's going to be in there for a strike. It brings the count to 2 balls and 1 strike to Adrian. Pitch is on the way, and that is high for ball 3. Count moves to 3-1. In his free time, Adrian likes to play video games and hang out with his friends. When he grows up, he wants to be a physical therapist or play in the MLB as he draws a walk there. He's going to make his way down to first. And that's going to bring up number 9. Andrew Whitley, who walked his last time up. And that's going to be high for ball 1. Andrew Whitley's favorite movie is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. That is low and away for ball 2. Brings the count to 2 balls and no strikes. And that's going to be ball 3. Brings the count to 3 balls and no strikes. We've got a runner on first and second with nobody out here, as Caden Rowland is trying to get his team out of this. And that's going to be ball 4. He's going to take his base here for the second time tonight. And that's going to bring up William Gilchrist. But we've got time from the Tri-County head coach here. He's going to have a conversation with his pitcher. And this is his 4th pitcher of the game so far, I believe. And looks to be he's bringing in a 5th here. And we'll have that pitching change when we come back. Welcome back to the Leo Vanoni Memorial Field at Oscar Frazier Park. We now have number 10, Reese Still, throwing outside for ball one. Reese Still is now on the mound, and this is the 6th pitcher of the game here for Tri-County, as they are just throwing everybody they can here. And that is in there for a strike. That brings the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Here in the top of the 6th, we have the bases loaded with nobody out. And William Gilchrist up to the plate, who has walked 3 times today, as that is outside for ball 2. He has had 3 at-bats, and he has walked 3 times so far tonight. And that is high for ball number 3. Count moves to 3 balls and 1 strike here, as Reese Still is trying to figure his way out of this thing. And that's right over the middle of the plate for a strike. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The count is full. Still no outs. And that is put in play to the left side. That's going to be a great stop by the shortstop. He's going to flip over to second for an out. The run did score to tie the game up 8-8. So that does a job from Gilchrist. But that was a fantastic play by the shortstop to not only get to that ball, but to be able to pop up and throw it over to his second baseman for an out. But the damage was done. The game is now tied. We have a runner on first and third. Batter squares around a bunt. Pitcher picks it up. He's going to make a play at third. He's running the runner back to third. They got him in a rundown. Pitcher has the ball back. He tags him out between third and home. Runner is out, as they had the safety squeeze on there. But the pitcher was able to field the ball, get the runner in a rundown, and tag him out for out number 2. However, the batter, Lawrence Tagari Jr., does advance to second on the rundown. So there's now a runner on second with 2 outs here for Anthony Bell. That is ball 1. To Anthony Bell, who wants to be a doctor when he grows up. And that is in there for a strike. Brings the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. And I absolutely admire that about Anthony Bell, that he wants to be a doctor when he grows up. It's not an easy profession, and there's a lot of schooling with it. So hats off to you for having those huge goals. We love to see that in these young men. And that swung on and missed for strike 2. That brings the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs and a runner on first and second here. And that is swung on and lifted to the right side. First baseman is in foul territory to make the play for out number 3, as Dentsville is retired, but the score remains 8-8, as Dentsville and Tri-County are going back and forth. We will be back on the county channel. Welcome back here to the last game of the night for the Dixie Boys State Tournament. And we are coming to you so late tonight because we had a little bit of weather delay. But we're getting all these games in today. And it's just about time to bring it home. We've got a little bit of a defensive change here for Dentsville. On the mound now is Logan McLaren. Logan McLaren is now pitching for Dentsville. Leading off the inning for Tri-County is going to be number 7, Hall Cease. As that pitch is fouled off on a bunt attempt from Cease for strike number 1. Oh, 1 pitch on the way, and that is in there. Swung on for strike 2. Brings the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cease, who took a big swing at that one. And that is ripped into left center field. That's going to get down. Hall Cease is rounding first. He's going to go into second, and he is in there for a stand-up double on an 0-2 count. That's just a great piece of hitting from Hall Cease. Looked like McLaren just left it a little too high in the zone there on an 0-2 count. You really got to get that out or down. And that's going to bring up number 24, Joe Huggins, who watches that ball high and in. And for all you Braves fans out there, we've got another score update. They extend their lead over the Rays on that's fouled back for strike 1. It's going to bring the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. The Braves are now winning 5-1 as the Rays did push 1 across, but Michael Harris grounded into a fielder's choice. And that's a low and away for ball 1 here in the game that actually matters between Tri-County and Dentsville. And the bottom of the 6th, we've got 2 balls, 1 strike, no outs, and runner on second. He's taken off for third. Ball is hit on the ground. Ground ball to the third baseman. Fields it. Throw over to first. Wide. That gets past the first baseman. Hall Cease is going to come around to score on the infield single from Joe Huggins. And that's going to bring up number 14, Jace Runkle, who has re-entered the game. And that's going to bring the score 9-1 in Tri-County's favor. And that's going to be straight across the plate for strike 1. Excuse me, the score is 9-8. And that is outside for ball 1. That's going to be a 1-1 count. No outs. Runner on second here. As McLaren checks his runner, goes to the plate. Fouled off straight back for strike 2. Bring count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. As Runkle tries to get this day going for himself as he is walked and flown out to the shortstop. That is high for ball 2. That's going to even the count 2-2 as the runner from second steals third. Jake Runkle's favorite food is chicken nuggets. That is swung on and fouled back. Once again, he's putting together a great at-bat here. His favorite team is the Braves, who once again have scored another run. They're up 6-1 on Ronald Acuna Jr.'s RBI single. His favorite song is In the Summertime by Shaggy. And that is high and outside for ball 3. That brings the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. His favorite baseball player, although he is no longer a Brave, is Freddie Freeman. When he grows up, he wants to be a full-time firefighter. One of our real-life heroes out there is those firefighters. He draws the walk. It's going to be ball 4. He's going to make his way down to first. And that's going to bring up number 3, Riley Cadell. We have a time called. The coach is going to go and talk to his batter there. And Riley Cadell, funnily enough, his favorite player is Acuna, who I just mentioned had an RBI single. And when he grows up, he wants to be a welder. It's a very good trade to have. We have another timeout called by the Dentsville coach to go and talk to his pitcher. So we are just hanging out during all these timeouts, waiting for the time to pass. And the rock pile has now broken up. And we're getting back to the action here. Got a runner on first and third here, nobody out. 0-0 count to Riley Cadell. Pitch on the way. And pickoff move to third, not in time. Batter squares around, lays one down, first base line. Pitcher picks it up. No throw. They're going to try and back pick him to third. He is back in time as that ball rolls straight through a puddle. That ball might be waterlogged now. But the bunt was successful, although if the goal was to score a run, that did not come to fruition. However, he did reach first safely, and he moved the runner over from first to second, as we now have the bases loaded with nobody out. And that brings up number 10, Reese Still. As that is outside of the zone for ball 1. When Reese grows up, he wants to be a farmer. It's a good profession to be in there, Reese. That ball is swung on and roped through the right side into right center on the ground. Gets past the diving second baseman. That's going to score 2 runs. He's going to hold the runner up at third there. But that's going to be a 2 RBI single from Reese Still as he helps himself out on the mound to keep this inning going, as we now have a runner on first and third with still no one out. And the score is now 11-8 in Tri-County's favor. And that ball is high. Brings count to 1 ball and no strikes. As number 4, Caden Rowland digs in. Runner goes, so he's at second now, and that's swung on and fouled back for strike 1. That brings the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Here comes the 1-1 pitch, and that's high for ball 2. Brings the count 2 balls and 1 strike. And that is low and outside for ball 3. Brings the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. And that is low for ball 4. as Roland will take his base for the second time, and that's going to bring up number 00 Vincent Gibson, who has had a pretty good day at the plate. He's hit a double, a single, and a line drive straight to the third baseman. So he's going to dig in here with no outs and the bases loaded once again. And that ball is thrown about 3 feet in front of the plate for ball one. And that's low for ball two. Brings the count to 2 balls and no strikes here to Vincent. In his free time, he likes to play video games. His favorite movie is Norbit. 2-0 pitch. Pickoff move towards third. Nothing doing. Back in time safely. And it's going to be in there for a strike. That brings the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. As this game is moving right along. Both teams and both teams' pitchers have that misses for ball 3. All pitchers today have at times struggled to find the strike zone. And that has been proven true here for McLaren as well. As that one's in for a strike. That moves the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bases are still loaded. That runner on second base is getting a huge lead. If he made a pickoff move towards second, he would have that guy easily. But that's ball 4. So that's going to score another run as Tri-County now leads 12-8. As there was a little confusion there. They thought the runner might not have touched home plate. That flips the lineup over for the leadoff hitter, Tylen Parker, as that ball runs inside. Brings count to 1 ball and no strikes. The runner at third thought about trying to score there. Threw the brakes on and turned right around to go back to third. Here comes the 1-0 pitch, and that's swung on, put in play to shallow center field. Center fielder can't come up with it as he made a diving attempt, and that's going to be an RBI single for Tylen Parker on what we like to call in that play in Beaufort County, we like to call that a duck snort. Terminology brought to you by our very own Daryl Catola. That ball falls in for an RBI single. That's going to bring the score 13-8. Center fielder was there. He just couldn't quite come up with the ball. Made the dive. Just couldn't quite get it. That is high for ball 1 here to number 2, Briar Long. And we have a final score update for the Braves for those following at home. Braves won 6-1. And that's low for ball 1 here to Briar Long. That brings the count to 2 balls and no strikes. That ball is blistered to left field. Left fielder is over there. He cannot make the play in foul territory, so that is a foul ball for strike number 1. That brings the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. That ball was hit very high to the left side by Briar Long. Left fielder was under it. He just couldn't quite make the play. We've got the bases loaded with nobody out. And that is high right into the backstop for ball 3. That brings the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. No outs. Bottom of the 6th inning. And that is high for ball 4. That's going to walk a run in. As McLaren just can't seem to find it. We've got time called by the catcher. He's going out to talk to his pitcher here. As we now have Hall Cease digging in, and we've got time called by the third base coach, the head coach from Dentsville, and it looks like we are going to have another pitching change, and we've got to be getting close to the Dixie boys' number of pitchers record in a single game. We will be back with this update very shortly on the county channel. Ladies and gentlemen, false alarm. Logan McLaren is going to stay in the game. I thought I saw a motion there from the coach to go to the bullpen, but looks like there's not going to be a pitching change here for Dentsville. And Hall Cease digs in as McLaren comes set. Pitch on the way, and that's going to be high and inside for ball 1. As that almost hit Hall Cease, but he moved out of the way. And that's high for ball 2. Hall 2-0 pitch is swung on and missed. And Hall Cease really seems to regret swinging at that one. And that's going to move the count 2 balls and 1 strike. And a pitch on the way. That's inside for ball number 3. As we have the bases loaded. Still no outs. And that runner on second is getting a very aggressive lead. And that is swung on and fouled straight back into the fence for strike number 2. And that brings the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Hall Cease, who has walked, flown out to the shortstop, grounded out to the pitcher, and doubled so far today. The pitch, and that is low for ball 4. That's going to walk in another run. As this game just continues to drag on. That brings up number 24, Joe Huggins, who's had a decent day of putting the ball in play so far. Grounded out to the second baseman and grounded out to the shortstop so far. But he's also singled. And that is low and inside. Gets past the catcher. Speedy Tylen Parker zooms on home. To move the score to 16-8. And now it really does appear that we will have another pitching change. This is not a false alarm. This is the real deal. So we will be back on the county channel with that update very shortly. Welcome back here as we have another new pitcher, and that is going to be number 5, Tagari Jr. As that ball is lifted to center field. Center fielder goes back, makes the play. Runners from second and third both tag, but we finally have the first out of the inning here as Lawrence Tagari gets an out from Joe Huggins. An RBI sac fly to bring up Jake Runkle.
Number 14, All-Star Jake Runkle.
And just so you know, we do have a run rule potential here, and that gets past the catcher. And now we're in a rundown, and he is safe at home. And that's going to be an 8-run rule here. Excuse me, 10-run rule, as Tri-County now wins this one 18-8 in the 6th inning via the 10-run rule. Very good game between these two teams. Well-fought battle. We will see Tri-County again tomorrow on Field 1 at 10 in the morning. And we will see Dentsville back in action on Monday, Field 1 at 4 o'clock p.m. We will see you then. Tune back in to the county channel, and thanks for joining us tonight. Have a great one.